Welcome to Science and Tech series with Dr. Vivek Rana. I hope all of you are healthy and safe in these incredibly trying times where only thing certain is uncertainty. But you should stay positive and calm, and this too shall pass. So, in today's lecture, we will dwell on basic differences between fomite transmission, airborne transmission, and droplet transmission, because these terms you must be coming across while reading the current COVID-19 pandemic articles. And currently there is a debate whether the WHO should clarify that what is the main mode of transmission, whether it's airborne or it's a droplet. So let's try to decode these terms without wasting much time. So first of all, we have to understand the most common term, the droplet infection. In droplet infection, what is seen is an infected individual who can be infected with any virus or some bacterial agent while coughing, sneezing, or talking, or while even singing. He can emit those infectious agent, and any person who is in just 1 meter, you could say, radius, comes in contact, inhales those particles, is likely to catch that infection as well. So this is a mode in which the fast transmission takes place, and if individual is not practicing social distancing or not wearing mask, the infectious rate, the reproduction number could jump to 5 or 6 even. So the best way to manage such droplet infection is by following the social distancing as well as the wearing protective gears, which we are seeing in case of COVID. Now, why this droplet infection is in news? Because the size of particles when you are emitting in case of droplets, they are quite large. They are more than 5 micrometer, and they fall under influence of gravitation, and so they settle down on surface, even though they remain infectious for hours and even days. So such particles, if you are practicing social distancing and protective equipment, they are not likely to directly transmit it to the person who is at a safe distance, say 2 meter or more. Whereas in case of the airborne infection, or you could say airborne transmission, when the person is infected and is emitting such particles, the size of particle is quite small. It is less than 5 micrometer. Usually such particles don't fall under influence of gravitation, and they remain suspended in air, and these are called aerosol. So even if you are not in vicinity, or you could say that we are saying the 2 meter, still you could catch infection, because these particles are carried by air currents. So in a poorly ventilated room or some crowded place, the infection is likely to be transmitted. So this is where the alarm bell rise, because there are diseases like measles, tuberculosis, chickenpox, which are transmitted to such airborne as well. Yes, it's difficult to demarcate or establish a dichotomy between droplet and the airborne in practical sense, because when infected individual is emitting, it's not that he will only emit the small or the large particles. Generally, the both modes go side by side. But yet, the major mode is important to identify, so that precautionary measure or the preventive measures could be designed. Apart from that, there is a fomite transmission as well, which is closely associated with these two modes. When a person is says is sneezing, coughing, and is emitting such particles, these particles settle down on surfaces. It could be some handle, it could be your mobile phone, it could be some article or some even medical instruments, a stethoscope, or you could say any instrument which is in close vicinity. And the second person accidentally touches, even though he was not in close contact, can catch the infection, because that particle accidentally can be touched to your eyes, nose or mouth, and it can enter your respiratory system. So this is where the fomite transmission takes place through contaminated surfaces. So in case of COVID, these terms are in use, and we can say the primary mode of infection for which maximum cases have been established remains the droplet infection. That's why we are practicing social distancing and wearing those masks. And in some cases where even the person was not in contact, some of the cases have been attributed to fomite transmission. That's why we are spraying chemicals and disinfecting the articles, and proper hygiene or sanitation methods like washing hands with soaps or sanitizers is helping a lot. And currently, the airborne transmission is also established because 36 scientists, almost 200 scientists from 36 different countries have written to WHO yet that we should confirm that airborne transmission is also taking place, because there have been cases where the person has known history without having close contact, yet the information is false. So we should should not lower the guard and practice. But yes, if the question comes, droplet infection is likely to be the primary mode of infection, and other two playing a minor or say role in some of the cases. Apart from that, you should also prepare the other modes of transmission, like you must have heard about the vector-borne diseases. In a lot of dengue, chikungunya, malaria, you have seen some insects carrying the infectious agent. It could be a protozoa virus and transmitting them to some host. It could be an animal or human being. Such diseases are called vector-borne diseases. They are transmitted through insect bite. And also in case of AIDS, you must have heard the term sexual transmission. So in case of hepatitis B as well. So a lot of diseases, this transmission also comes into the picture. And also there is a fecal-oral transmission in which contaminated food and water plays a major role. If you are not following proper sanitation or hygiene methods, diarrhea, dysentery, such diseases can be easily transmitted across the populations. And cholera is another disease which is waterborne, which transmits through the contaminated water. So just revise through the basic diseases, their modes of transmission, because this topic is in news and statement based question can be framed on. So if you have any specific queries which have not been addressed related to mode of transmission, you could just ask them in comment section. I will try to answer the generic ones. So this is it in today's lecture. I hope today's session was useful. Thank you very much.